Okay, recording started. Hello and welcome to this week's platform meeting. It's April the 23rd. Let me post the agenda to the SUMO channel and we can get started. Alright, so we had one action from last... Oh no, actually that was for the week before that. So let me remove that. And we don't have actions from last week, so we can move directly to the roundtable. I have 2 items on the roundtable. If you want to add anything, now is your chance. If you want to talk about anything that's not on our roadmap, I'll start then. The first thing that we have is editor change. So I wanted to bring this up in this bigger round here. RTL is a bit of a focus for us at the moment, and it turns out that the editor that we are using to edit articles, and especially to translate them, the editor has shortcomings, especially when it comes to bidirectional text, but also to a lot of other more advanced features needed to display non-Latin script. And because we cannot actually work around those bugs, our only options are then to live with them or to change to an editor that does have good support for those things. So we have a bug for this. Let me move this here as well. This sprint, we realized we would need to change the editor, and we have a bug for that, where our developers, especially Mike, will actually look into what it means to change an editor. We are probably going to change to something called Code Mirror, and in this sprint we will find out what it would take to do that. If it's a big project, smaller project, what pieces are necessary for it, so we can get an estimation for what we need to do. That might mean that we have to move something else off the roadmap for this quarter, push it off into the next quarter. And we will know more about it as soon as information are added to that bug. Actually, I haven't checked that in 2 days, so maybe Mike already did it, or somebody else. Okay, there's discussion here, but I haven't actually followed this discussion. So Mike, maybe you can actually update us if there is anything you can update us at the moment.
Where we are so far is we've decided that CodeMirror does have decent right-to-left language support, and it also has bidirectional language support, which means it can have one editor with both left-to-right and right-to-left text. A couple people who know a right-to-left language looked at the editor and says, yes, this is what I would expect it to do. I haven't looked at what it's going to take to implement this yet. I'll probably do that sometime today.
Cool. Yeah, so once we have that, we would know roughly how much time we have to allocate for this. And then we will know whether it's like something that we can do on the side or whether we really have to move something big from the roadmap. From our preliminary discussions, it seemed like it might be something bigger. So I just wanted to give a heads up that this might be something we need to make a decision on then. If you move this on the roadmap, we have to move something else out of the roadmap, and what that would actually be. We cannot have that discussion just yet, though, because we don't know how big it's going to be. So we can just leave this for... I wanted to say next week, but I'm going to be on vacation for 2 weeks, so you can have that discussion next week if you want to, but the next platform meeting with me will be in 3 weeks from today. So we would have to do that then, if it's going to include me. Yeah, so that's the heads up for the editor change. And then we have something that's a feature for Buddy Up, which is localization. Right now it's English, strictly English only, which doesn't make much sense because most of our users for Firefox OS are actually not English, do not speak English. So in order for that to be really useful for the population that has a Firefox OS device, we need to offer them a localized interface. So this is that feature, and it's a bigger thing. Again, it would need us to remove things from the roadmap, but with Hermina, we actually came to an agreement that instead of trying to go for that, what we are going to do is to do some of it in a 25% time that belongs to Hermina, and then let the rest be handled by Anthony, who is the developer for Buddy Up right now. When he comes back from vacation, he is going to go on a 3-week vacation starting next week. So this means that we have to allocate a bit of the sprint, part of the 25% time for this feature. And Mike, I think it's going to be vital to break down that meta bug into pieces that make sense to you to get started on, and that you can then hand over to Anthony. I hope this is something that can be broken down like that. I didn't actually write anything down from our discussion last time, and like which pieces you wanted to break this down to. So would you mind adding that to the meta bug? I'm actually going to add the meta bug.
Sure, yeah.
So this would be something that we would have to put into the sprint that starts on Tuesday then. Again, a part of our 25% time. All right. So that's what I had for the roundtable. Anything else anyone wants to bring up here? All right. If not, we can move on to the roadmap items. First thing is iOS on SUMO. There is the meta bug. The bugs are currently in the sprint.
Yeah.
Exactly. The sprint is scheduled to end this Tuesday. Yeah, I don't think we have started working on them yet, but
Actually, they're basically done.
really?
But
Oh, okay.
there's one small issue. So for the Ask a Question flow, we can add iOS support fairly easily, and that works. But we can't add it and then hide it from the site. So once we turn it on, it will be on for everyone.
Okay. So let's not turn it on then until a future sprint. Sorry.
Exactly.
Is that hard to do that now, or sorry, I didn't realize it was an on or off thing. We couldn't hide it. Sorry. About that.
Because of the particular code change that it is, we can just leave it sitting there until it's ready.
Okay.
And just not merge it.
Can we put that on staging though, Mike, to do a quick test of just to make sure that there is no surprises?
Sure. Right now, Stage is being used to test. We're having some trouble with RabbitMQ and the Django 1.7 upgrade, so Rick is using Stage for that.
All right. Yeah,
Right,
I mean, this
we-
isn't urgent.
We can test it next week. We don't have to. I'm sure you'll have it fixed by next week. Your Rabbit stuff.
Hopefully.
Yeah, this isn't urgent. We should just
Okay.
test it before we then roll it out. And if you can do that, that would be great.
Can you
We
need
still
info
have
for
until.
test on the bug. Or
I was
something?
just going to suggest that. So,
Sorry, I didn't hear what Roland said.
can
Could
you?
please info me, Mike, or Kadir, or either both of you, when you need me to test on stage?
Sure.
So that is the add Firefox on iOS to AAQ, right?
Right.
All right. Yeah. Once this is on staging, if I think this is Rayhan's bug or maybe yours, I'm not quite sure.
We've both been working on it.
Okay. Yeah. So if you can needs info, Roland, once this is on staging, I think that would be great. And yeah, no
I will get
rush.
Joni to help me too.
I think Firefox on iOS is starting sometime in June, right, Roland? Or around that time anyway. So.
It's top secret.
Smiling face that is not at liberty to say.
Okay. Since I don't know, I'm not blurting out anything anyway.
Yes, we are publicly committed to first half of 2015.
All right. So anyway, we have a bit of time for this.
Yes,
no
the
rush.
president has publicly.
All right. So that was the first roadmap item. Moving on to the next one. Buddy up for desktop. So this is actually pushed out to the next month, May 21st, because the screen sharing feature will not land before Firefox 38, which is launching on May 12th. So we want to give it a bit of time because we do staggered updates of our user base. So we need at least a week for the update to be rolled out to our user base before we can start using it on the forums. So the program itself will start on this May 21st, but we will probably need to do some code changes shortly before that. So that's in the, which sprint is that again? That's sprint 9. I'll be back by then. And it's going to be a small thing, so we're not going to automate essentially anything. It's going to be a very manual thing, as outlined in the project plan at the very bottom of that page that's linked there. Yeah, so that's Buddy up for desktop. It's a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. We can't start before the requirements are there. Next one is article page redesign. So Joni has UX for this. Joni, I wasn't able to review that yesterday, so sorry for that. We will have to do that in our regular sync up time after this meeting. So once we have that, I'll write the acceptance criteria, and then it's up to Mike to give us some estimates for those, so we can then slide that into the sprint starting on Tuesday. So this would be the next big thing that we are working on. Article page redesign. And Mike, I think you wanted to check with JP whether he's going to be ready sometime now or soon. So, because if not, we are going to allocate all of our 75% time for the article page redesign, and if he's ready already, we would split that up.
So what's going on with that is JP is helping us with the AWS migration. Right now he's working on crash stats, Socorro. After that, the next project will be input, and then we'll come after that. It's all been kind of up in the air. We thought that we were going to be doing this in like Q3 or Q4, but our timetable got moved up, and it's very fuzzy right now. But it seems like we won't be working on that until probably, I guess, sometime in the middle of May, end of May probably. But that's just a really rough. I'm not sure how long the other projects will take.
All right, so then it's settled. We're going to spend all of our 75% time on article page redesign starting on Tuesday. So there are some up and downsides to that. But the upside is that essentially it's like one block that we can get to, so we don't have to. No, actually, I like it if it's more staggered because it gives us more time to figure things out and to get feedback from the initial implementation. But it is what it is, so we will work with that. So that's the status for the article page redesign. Hopefully by tomorrow we can start with the estimates, and that will give us a chance to come up with the sprint plan by the end of tomorrow. Okay, so the next step is not getting UX, it's getting acceptance criteria. updating that here. All right, then the unified ask a question page. So we have initial UX, and I don't think Madalena is here. Otherwise, she could walk us through that. But she is going to revise that again. So hopefully next week. Oh, again, I'm not here. But she will have that next week. Essentially, what we agreed on is the initial discussion that we had about the unified ask a question flow, which is removing the search as a separate step, moving it into the asking the question part, the way we do it on Buddy Up, and also including the registration step on the same page. So people don't have to like sign up before they ask the question, but also we do not surprise them with the sign up process after they've typed all that stuff. So I think it is an interesting model, and the good thing is this gives us a chance to actually, for the first time, instrument the whole flow. So we will have a good idea of like whether this is a success or not, and it will give us a chance to continuously work on the ask a question flow in the future with the baseline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we have been instrumenting parts of it, especially the last part of registration and beyond that. For the last time we did work on the ask a question flow, but now we are, for the first time, we're going to instrument the whole thing. So yeah, the next steps are to finish up the UX on this, and Madalena is on it. All right. The next ones are mobile product page redesign and search quality. So I think, yeah, I haven't actually worked with Joni on those since the last time we talked, but Joni, maybe you have already worked on those, so you can give us an update. If there is, if there is an update. Sorry if I'm putting you on the spot like this.
Oh, that's okay. So for the mobile page redesign, I've done some sketching, but I don't actually have anything to show yet. For search quality, I think we've decided to kind of turn that into more like 25% time bugs, or at least like parts of it with the boost values and
All right, so I wasn't sure about that. Just for context, we had a meeting a few days ago where we explored the options that we have to influence our search results. So we have a few of them, and we are going to start working on those. So, Joni, I wasn't clear that those were the improvements you were looking for. If that's the case, that's awesome. That means we can remove one item from the roadmap here, which would actually give us all the time that we need for the editor change.
yeah, I think we can go ahead and remove this from the roadmap, and we'll see if the 25% time bugs are enough, and then if they're not, we can talk about it for the next quarter.
All right. Okay. So, actually, yeah, taking notes and talking at the same time is just doesn't work. We have to do it differently next time. So that was the last item that I have on the roadmap list. Any questions, comments, anything on our roadmap items? If not, we can move on to the specific bug discussions. There is nothing listed there, but if anybody has anything they want to bring up, this is your chance. And if not, then that's the meeting. That was the platform meeting for this week. So I won't be here over the next 2 weeks. So if anybody's interested in hosting these meetings, I'd be very happy to hand it over to you. Any volunteers?
I think Mike should host it. He knows what's going on.
Huh? Mike, you want to do it?
Sure, I can run through the agenda next week.
Well, you know, or most importantly, Mike, you know the status of the bugs, which only you and Kadir know, so.
Sure.
Yeah, Mike. I mean, it's really straightforward. Mostly, it's about giving an update on the roadmap, and yeah, you are mostly updated on the things, especially the ones that are currently in flight. So, and you can let everybody else talk about their part, the
Or
parts that
maybe
they own.
you'll have something ready for iOS, ask a question on stage by the next meeting. We can talk about that.
Sure.
All right, so then we have a decision. Thank you, Mike, for doing that. So, two decisions. We are removing the search improvement from the roadmap and doing it in a 25% time. And Mike is hosting the next two meetings.
I can host the one after, but I think I might host the next one. How about that, since I
All
sort
right.
of Shanghai Mike, my apologies.
Okay. Next.
Next meeting is Mike, the meeting after that will be me. Of course, we'll still need Mike because he'll know the status of the bugs and I won't, but I just come here to make sure iOS and Android are working, and I think they are and will be, so.
Okay, cool. So then, thank you everyone, and I'll see you again in, well, 3 weeks. Take care and bye-bye.
Schönen Urlaub.
Dankeschön.
Bitte.